On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
Looks like to me. Is that what success looks like to you based off of the standards that you have for her, or is it based off of how she feels and her happiness within that marriage?
What I consider a purpose for her is irrelevant at this stage. She is an adult of her own right. She defines her own purpose.
What does that have to do with the question, though, Mr. Beer? I'm asking you about your standards, not what she thinks.
Okay,
as a father. As a father.
My standards is that she could be happily married and be able to pursue whatever other functions that she wants to do.
But if she decides that she don't want to pursue anything other than being happily married, is that success? If she decides she don't want to pursue anything other than being happily married by serving this man, is that success? I mean, it's very clear.
Okay, if she's married to the man and if it leads to a happy marriage, sure.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Hi, Polar Bear.
Polar Bear, what's going on?
Hey,
to the show.
Polar Bear.
I'm just coming out of my winter cave. What can I say?
Happy Thanksgiving.
Polar Bear,
I'm not at my usual desk. I'm actually a little bit tired today, so I apologize. I don't have a better background.
It's okay, Polar Bear.
Just appreciate your support.
Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
So with the topic being about having our daughters being brought up as wives, my first priority, and I'm speaking from experience. So my daughter's 26 now, so I'm not speculating in the hypotheticals. I brought my daughter up to be wise, W-I-S-E, first and foremost, above everything else. Okay. When she was little, I'm the one that taught her how to do gardening. I'm the one that taught her how to cook. I'm not trying to steal thunder from her mother. You know, she's not among the land of the living anymore. You know, she had her part to play, but I can say what I did. So, yeah, I taught my daughter how to garden, how to do cooking, how to keep a house. I taught her actually how to pour concrete. She's been out on construction sites because when I would be out there overseeing contractors during the summer, at the time she was with me. She's been in air traffic control towers. She's been out on airfields. You know, she's familiar with all this stuff. Now, also, as she was getting little, and because her mother and I separated when she was about like 5 years old, you know, divorced. So obviously I couldn't do everything 100% of the time with her physically. Okay. However, for the times that I had her, okay, during my custody schedule, did many things with her. And I always treated her like, you know, going to a restaurant or whatever, open the door. And she knew that she was supposed to say thank you. Okay. And also holding the chair out, and she would sit down, etc. So I trained her from an early on what to expect, how she should be treated. Okay. Not like she's some goddess from, you know, up on Mount Olympus or anything, but be treated with respect as a young lady. Okay. Also, I trained her that, hey, if my hands are full of groceries or doing something else and I can't open the door, guess what? She opens the door. Okay. Just because you're female doesn't mean you don't have responsibility. You have responsibilities as well. Okay. Growing also, like during the times I was not with her physically, because I was, different states doing, engineering work. How can I say this? I would almost every day I was talking to her on the phone. And oftentimes, this is before we had internet and it was, easy to do stuff. This is when you had to actually do things on the phone. Okay.
Bring us home, Polo Bear.
And I would, over the phone, be tutoring her on her math. I also helped her with her English, etc. All those things. Okay. And I kind of liked what Jay, I think the first caller, when he said is, we all want to have our children grow up to be successful. And that rings so true. Okay. I want my daughter to be successful. Do I want her to be at a point where she feels like she's above someone else? Hell no. Do I want her to be subject where she has to put up with crap from somebody else because she's not able to take care of herself? Hell no. Okay. She can be capable to take care of herself completely. However, that doesn't mean that you want to be alone. It's human nature to want companionship. So the thing is, she can get a quality guy that's going to treat her right, and that she could be a partner too.
Hey, Polar Bear, let me ask you a question.
Certainly.
If you don't, I mean, you don't have to answer, right? Because I know this is personal information. How old is your daughter?
She's 26.
Is she married?
You froze.
Is she married?
No.
Okay, so to what end, and this is my question for you, to what end did all of the teachings and the things that you input in her, how do you think that's translated long-term into her life today?
I actually think it's quite well. She has an excellent career, and she does have a gentleman that she's been dating for over a year, and they do quite well. I just came from a nice, wonderful Jamaican dinner with his family. So, I like him. I joke around saying, you'll be my son soon. Don't worry about it,
So, I mean, I just got one more question for you.
Sure.
Do you want her to be successful, or do you want her to fulfill her purpose?
I'm sorry, you broke up. I couldn't. Is it just on my end, or?
It might
be.
I'm in a different part of the building, so you got to excuse me. You got to have some patience with me. Do you want her to be successful, or do you want her to fulfill her purpose? Because, like, for example,
her purpose is to be successful. They're not separate items.
They're not?
Not at all.
Okay, so what if her purpose is to move? Can I have a conversation with Mr. Bear, please? What if her purpose is to move the chairs for the person that has the vision? Are you cool with that? Do you consider that successful?
Okay, that's too vague of a thing. I don't understand that.
Okay,
scenario.
what if her success, for example, has nothing to do with what it is that she does for a living, but everything to do with whether or not she's aligned with the person that has the vision, right? Let's just say, for example, this young man that you love so much. What if her purpose is to serve him? Do you consider that success?
I think they serve each other.
No.
It's not an all or nothing deal on one side or the other.
Do you think that if she says, you know what, I want to marry this man and my purpose is to serve him because he has the vision for me as his wife, would you consider that success?
I would say, first of all, she's an adult. I did my job the best I could to raise her up to, her adult age. Okay. From there, the things I infused into her, at that point, she is of legal age and she is responsible for her decisions. Now, I can advise her on certain things, and she does. She comes to me often and say, Dad, what do you think about this, there, or the other? And I will advise her. Okay. Now, if she says, Dad, I want to go and do things with, her boyfriend, I'm going to leave names out and everything else like that. And I said, if that's what you truly want to do, and I would sit down with both of them. I'd say, what do you want to do, both of you? And I'm the sort, I think of a lot of possibilities. As I mentioned before.
Mr. Bear, with all due respect, you didn't answer the question. You provided context, but you didn't answer the question.
Okay.
The question is, would you consider that success? Would you, not would she, would you consider that success?
Getting married unto itself is not success. Having a good union, meaning marriage, between two people.
Let me re-ask the question.
Okay.
If she ultimately serves the person that has the vision for her, which would be her husband, meaning that she's no longer under your covering but his, would you consider that her serving him and whatever vision that he has successful?
I don't have problems with it.
Okay. Mr. Bear, I mean, I appreciate the context.
Okay.
With all due respect, you did not answer the question. Would you consider that success, yes or no? And then whatever context it is, I'd appreciate it. But just honestly, respectfully, would you consider that success, yes or no?
If they have a good marriage together, yeah, that's success. But that doesn't negate that she could have a good marriage and also be successful doing other things that are career-wise or anything else.
Would you consider her a failure if she said that, Dad, that's what my purpose in life is. This is what I'm doing.
If she wanted to do that and makes her happy and he treats her well, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
So you're saying her success is based off of her happiness and not her purpose?
No, I did not say that.
I'm asking you. Because you keep, when I ask you a direct question, what you do is you deflect back to if she feels a certain type of way. But I'm asking you based off of what your standards are for success, how it is that you define success according to all of these different things that you've raised her by. Do you consider her saying hypothetically, listen, this guy has a vision for my life. My purpose is to serve him under his vision. And this is what success looks like to me. Is that what success looks like to you based off of the standards that you have for her? Or is it based off of how she feels and her happiness within that marriage?
What I consider a purpose for her is irrelevant at this stage. She is an adult of her own right. She defines her own purpose.
What does that have to do with the question, though, Mr. Beer? I'm asking you about your standards, not what she thinks.
Okay,
As a father. As a father,
my standards is that she could be happily married and be able to pursue whatever other functions that she wants to do.
But if she decides that she don't want to pursue anything other than being happily married, is that success? If she decides she don't want to pursue anything other than being happily married by serving this man, is that success? I mean, it's very clear.
Okay, if she's married to the man and if it leads to a happy marriage, sure.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah.
Is her boyfriend Jamaican?
Yes.
Oh,
Jamaican American.
nah, she like chocolate. Okay.
And I would say I kind of
Jamaican don't mean chocolate.
He not chocolate.
sorry,
Is he
say
chocolate
that,
polar
say-
bear? Is he chocolate?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
Okay.
Even better.
Okay.
he's a good guy, you know. So trust me, I've
Jamaicans are a
vetted
little
him.
strict.
You know, he has a good career.
Mhm.
You know, he's respectful. You know, so I've known him for about a year. I've met his family. So far everything's cool.
Well, you know,
Does
Polar
he
Bear,
want
like,
her to be a housewife? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Does he want her to be a housewife, live that modern traditional role if they do get married? Because Caribbean men are kind of like that. They like that traditional aspect of things. So I think that kind of falls back to what Anton was saying. Would she be okay just being a
my daughter
housewife?
has no problem, and you know, he likes it. You know, she when they're together at his place, then yeah, she makes meals. You know, and I'm over there sometimes. We all hang out. She makes the meal, brings it, and we are watching, you know, Netflix or whatever. So everything's cool. Also, speaking about cooking and everything, so as she was growing up, and you know, when she was with me, she did predominantly most of the cooking, but I had a house rule: whoever's doing the cooking in the kitchen doesn't have to clean up the dishes thereafter. So she did about 80% of the cooking, and I did the cleaning. You know, on those things that I have a specialty in, namely hot wings and a few other things. And I cooked.
Okay, Polar Bear, you better with the hot wings.
All right, Polar Bear.
Not Polar Bear like chocolate women too.
Yeah.
Polar, you like chocolate women too?
I don't have a limitation.
Yeah.
As long as they don't
No
smoke.
limitations. You heard them?
Not the rainbow.
They got to be shapely, look nice, and no smoking.
All right, Polar Bear. Like, you got the hot seat now, man. You can breathe now.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody, and have a blessed Thanksgiving, what's left of it.
You too. Bye.
Right,
Hey, Polar Bear, make sure you come back and visit us, man. I know you're in the hot seat tonight, man. Like,
Change your name to
I
Chocolate
seen the
Bear.
sweat drip off your forehead. I'm like, damn, Polar Bear really going through the motions now. He was on trial.